Welcome to Community Conversations. I'm Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner, and today as my guest, I'm pleased to have John Concannon. He's the District Engineer for the State Highway Administration District 7 office, which is right here in Frederick County, and that's of course part of the Maryland Department of Transportation. Welcome, John.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, I'm happy to have you on. Traffic issues and transportation issues are of great importance to the people who live here, and of course that's true across the state. So can you share a little bit about your role with State Highway?
Sure, be glad to. So the Maryland Department of Transportation, State Highway Administration, District 7 office handles state highways in 3 counties. We have Frederick County, Carroll County, and Howard County. And within those counties, we handle operations along the interstate routes, which in Frederick would be Interstate 270 as well as Interstate 70. We also handle the U.S. routes such as US 15 and US 340. And then we also handle operations along all the Maryland numbered routes such as Maryland 85, Maryland 26, and Maryland 77 in the Thurmont area. The district engineer is responsible for the administration and the management of all programs and projects within the district as they relate to several areas, and that's construction, maintenance, traffic operations, also program development or project development, access management, and budget. So I'm very fortunate to have a great team of men and women that work with me. They are very focused on customer service and providing excellent transportation solutions to the citizens of Maryland. With over 2,500 lane miles and 450 bridges in Frederick County and Carroll and Howard, we have many projects that are active.
Well, you have a big job, and I think you do a good job, and I do think you deliver on that customer service piece. The county has had a great working relationship with State Highway and the staff that works out of the district office for a long time, so we really appreciate that collaboration, that good communication. So I can't say enough about how positive that is, and that's certainly reflective of your leadership, so we appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
And so obviously there's a lot of things happening in Frederick County, but before we get into the projects, which people are really interested in, can you share a little bit about highway safety zones as well as the E-Road Ready 2017 service?
Sure. So work zone safety is very important to MDotSHA. As you would expect, that is where our crews are working every day alongside of the road. They have very dangerous jobs.
Yep.
And tragically, we had experienced a work zone crash just last week in Anne Arundel County where a motorist was hit in a work zone and was killed. Nationally, on average, there are over 700 people killed in work zones across the country. And here in Maryland in 2015, we lost 6 people in work zone crashes. And what statistics are showing us is that it's not always the worker who is killed or injured in the crash. In 4 out of 5 of those work zone related crashes, it is either the driver or the passenger in the vehicle who is killed or injured in the crash. So what we're asking is motorists to please slow down, pay attention as you travel through the work zones, obey the speed limits. It's everyone's responsibility to drive accordingly as you travel through work zones. And please don't drive distracted. That's one of the main issues that we see as distracted driving that's causing work zone related crashes.
Yeah, we certainly appreciate that advocacy because we have a lot of people out working along our roadways too. You know, State Highway has staff out there, contractors out there. We have the same kinds of folks working along our roads, and we have our first responders, police and fire, responding to incidents along roads. So I think it's important for people to recognize that it's not just the highway worker we're trying to keep safe, we're trying to keep them safe. And that, you know, we want everybody to get home safely, we want their passengers to get home safely, and so it really is important to pay attention, stay off your phone, and I think that's a big distraction. And to recognize that some of the traffic patterns change. So you may have been through a construction area yesterday, and it may be different today because that maintenance of traffic changes over time.
That's correct. And one of the things that Maryland Department of Transportation State Highway has done this year is launched our E-Road Ready brochure. Okay. It's an electronic brochure where the public is able to access the information online through our website, and that is www.beautification.com. roads.maryland.gov.
Okay.
And from that website, they would be able to access a specific county where they can then drill down to specific projects within that county and see the start date of the project. You would also see who the contractor is, the estimated completion date, as well as photographs or newsletters related to the project. So as projects progress and traffic patterns change, we're able to update the community through that website.
Now, we have a number of key projects underway in the county, which, of course, the citizens are traveling through and looking at them and wondering when will they be done or when will they start. So let's start with the Monocacy Boulevard interchange on US 15 at the northern end of the city of Frederick. What's the status of that project?
Sure, that's a great project, and we're excited to be nearing the completion of that project. We began the construction in May of 2015, so we're just a little over 2 years into construction now. And this project is really a partnership with Frederick County and Frederick City. The additional funding that came from both county and city to help us move the project through the design phase and actually get it into construction. So as we're now on the road, we are about ready to open the ramps on the north side of the interchange come this fall. So the ramps from Monocacy Boulevard onto northbound US 15 and the exit ramp from southbound 15 onto Monocacy Boulevard will open this fall, weather permitting.
Okay.
The ramps on the south side of the interchange will open in the spring of 2018, and that's because we have some additional fill work to do on the south side, and we'll be removing the temporary Monocacy Boulevard road that was constructed there during construction.
Okay, well, that's good news. I didn't know it was going to open partially and then the other part, but I think that makes sense to do it that way so that people aren't waiting for all the work to be done before it opens. And I do think that will really help with traffic safety in that area to have that grade separated interchange.
It's a great improvement on the US 15 corridor. With this project, we're able to eliminate the at-grade intersection that existed at Hayward Road, and those who drive US 15 and even today use the Hayward Road intersection understand how difficult it can be making a left-hand turn from US 15 onto Hayward Road at certain times of the day based upon the traffic volume. And we're also able to close the intersection with US 15 and Monocacy Boulevard and get rid of that at-grade intersection that becomes the bridge over US 15. A lot of safety improvements with just one project on the US 15 corridor.
Yes, it will make that whole area much safer.
Yes.
So I know there's another project that is out to bid but not awarded yet that's of interest to the community, and that's the I270 Maryland 85 interchange. So what's the status of that project?
So the 85 I-270 interchange has been awarded to a contractor. We have a low bidder for the contract. We anticipate notice to proceed or the contractor beginning his work activity this coming fall. It's a very large construction project going to last several years, and we'll be widening Maryland 85 to add additional capacity all the way from Crestwood Boulevard up through the Spectrum Drive intersection.
Okay.
And we'll be replacing the I-270 bridges over Maryland 85 as part of that project. So there'll be complicated maintenance of traffic phases where we'll be shifting traffic around along 270 and on Maryland 85, and we'll be reaching out through our newsletters and our communication to the public to let them know when these traffic shifts will be occurring.
Okay, another type of project that communities actually really love are what used to be called streetscapes. Now they're urban renewal.
Urban reconstruction projects.
Urban reconstruction.
Yes.
And we saw that in the town of Newmarket, in the core of the old town of Newmarket. And I know we have projects planned in Middletown and in Jefferson. So can you talk about them?
Sure, these are great projects. They're very challenging projects because we're working in close proximity to homes and in historic areas. But we are about complete now with our Maryland 144 Newmarket reconstruction project, where we have updated the sidewalks through town, we've replaced the landscaping, and we've reconstructed the roadway. It's a very nice project. And as you mentioned, we're now doing a very similar project on US 40 alternate over in Middletown, where we're working closely with the town as they upgrade some utility work as part of our project while we have the excavation underway. We'll be upgrading traffic signals, doing landscaping, and then ultimately reconstructing the road as part of that project. The Jefferson project is getting underway this year as well on Maryland 180. And then we're also doing some work up in Emmitsburg, a much smaller type urban reconstruction project where we're replacing sidewalks and doing improvements at the town square at US 15 Business. So those are some nice projects, very beneficial to the communities and improve walkability for the pedestrians in the town.
Well, they're beautification projects in many ways. The streetscapes look very nice when they're completed, but not only, but that's what people visually see. I think the stormwater improvements and the drainage improvements are also very significant with a lot of those projects because these are our older communities. This is where we really want to invest our money so that people can have that traditional walkable downtown area. Even if it's in Jefferson, it's still that core of that community. And there's some definitely great businesses downtown Jefferson. It's unincorporated, but I call it downtown Jefferson.
Yes.
It really will help with the flow of water and the walkability with replacing those sidewalks.
Many of these towns really don't have drainage systems in place, and that's one of the challenges that we're doing as we go in with these projects, is to provide a drainage system which moves the water away from the roadway and addresses icing conditions and ponding along the roadway. We also have a very similar type project in Liberty Town,
Right.
where we are resurfacing Maryland 26 from the east end of town near the Liberty Town Park to the west, just west of South Street. And as part of that project, it's sort of a streetscape type project, but it's more of a traffic calming type project where we'll be making some improvements at the park on the east end of town, putting in crosswalks. We'll actually be removing some of the wide pavement that's out there to try and get a much narrower section of Maryland 26 to calm traffic as they come into the community. And we'll be doing the same thing out on the west end of town, where we'll be changing the typical, what we refer to as the typical section of the roadway, to narrow it down and try and get those speeds down as motorists enter the town.
Yes, I heard a new term, street diets,
Yes.
which is narrowing streets. There's a couple different ways to do that, but that's
Right.
an interesting concept. I learn a new word every day.
Yes.
Well, we're almost out of time, so if people want information on any of these projects, how can they get that?
So the best way to find information about projects is through our website, and then that is at www.roads.maryland.gov. On there, you can find our eRoad Ready brochure. You can also access us through our link there, which is for our customer care management system. So if there are things that the public sees that we may need to take attention with, such as a pothole or a tree or a sign, they can use our customer care management system to link directly with us, and their request will be sent to the appropriate office, and they will receive a follow-up through that manner. They're also welcome to visit us. We're here in Frederick. We're located on Route 85 Buckystown Pike, just south of the I-270 interchange. We're open Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30. They're welcome to come in and visit us, talk with us, look at project plans. And then they can also call us by phone, and we have a 1-800 number, and that's 800-635-5119.
All right, well, thank you. So you're easy to get a hold of, and people want that information. And I think with the technology and the access online, you're really open 24/7 to hear from the community.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you for joining us for today's edition of Community Conversations. I know our community is very interested in what's happening with traffic improvements and road improvements around our community. So check out State Highway's website and find out what you need to know to get around safely this year. Thank you for joining us.